Oh, hey, everybody. I thought we'd talk about the market a little bit. It's Sunday night and it's a new week starting. And before we get into that, I need to do a little disclaimer. So here we go. All right. So here we go. And this is just being streamed to YouTube. I can stream to a bunch of platforms, but I've decided to just be exclusive to YouTube for a while. And my purpose here is to just build out the channel and kind of simplify my life a little bit. So yeah, this look at this. Does this look simple to you? So let's just get into this. So if you don't know who I am or what I'm about, I teach, been teaching for a couple years now, a methodology about cryptocurrency investing and trading. And I'm not going to be doing that today. We're just going to do a market overview. If you go through some of the past videos, I think one of the last ones I did was about how to create a password. And I've done some training and stuff that I'm actually working on hammering out. And anyway, so there's more to come. But right now, it's more about me just getting practice of creating these and doing this stuff. So what you see here is I usually do most of my trading. Here, let me turn this off for a second on my cell phone. Yeah, that's the new S23 Ultra. This one's got a gigabyte in it because I'm doing some content creation on it. It's kind of cool. But usually when I'm trading, I do a lot of testing because it's kind of my thing. I do what's called potty time training. So throughout the day, when I use the restroom, I'll make a decision. In anyway, I work through the DDTC missions, and that's a whole other thing. And a mission is basically when you're doubling your money. And I say this all the time, folks. Listen, you should start with mission one, which is like $5. And if you can't turn $5 into 10 without losing money, like zero losses, then you have no business trading anything else. Not 10,000, not 100,000, not a million. You have no business running a hedge fund for billions of dollars because it's people don't know how to manage. They don't even know how to create a plan properly. So I teach people how to complete missions 1 through 20. And if you don't know what that is, just pull out a basic calculator, right? And just put in 5 times 2, and that's mission 1, and times 2, and do that 20 times and see if that would change your finances. Most people, somewhere around missions 10 to 12 would probably impact their lives. So, but somewhere around missions 10, their confidence level and how their lives would be is greatly different. So, a lot of folks selling a lot of expensive courses. That's all good information, knowledge, and training. Uh, I have not. I'm not selling a course yet. I just refused to do it. My training I've made available for free. I wanted to build up a Patreon subscriber base because it's more about cash flow, freeing up my time type of thing, and I want to build an organization that's international. I have this weird idea that if I can help you become financially independent, wealthy kind of thing, um, and teach you the principles that I think would transform our world, then you will become an influence wherever you are in the world, and that could change our world. Too many people just want to win the lottery and they don't have a plan for how to win the lottery. So I'm actually writing a book on Are You Ready to Be a Billionaire? Because I don't know if you're like me, if you look around, most of the billionaires aren't ready to be billionaires. They're not good stewards. I mean, yeah, they made $1 billion or they inherited $1 billion or whatever, but they're not good stewards with their money or their power, and that's a problem. And anyway, I think our world's too small for that. Anyway, some cool stuff. I noticed a project coming out of Saudi Arabia, which was really interesting today, but it's only for Saudi citizens. But it's kind of revolutionary sustainability project. They want to create a model city. to save our species kind of thing. I was like, wow, that's kind of revolutionary. So I was interested in that. So that kind of thinking is interesting to me. Um, but if I'm not going to get into other things, but let's get back into talking about charts. All right. So what you see here is you see a lot of stuff. So the stuff on the left, right? See the big hand. This is like this is the weekly, daily, 12-hour, and then at the 6-hour, 3-hour, 1 hour, and the 30-minute. So this is kind of what I look for when I'm doing what I call HD 1.0 type trading and setting up bots and things like that. The stuff over here on the right is what I'm looking for if I'm doing active trading. Okay. So this is like a 5-minute, 3-minute, 1 minute, 15-minute, 15 seconds, and 5 seconds. And so this is for a high leverage type trading where I want to be in and out in probably less than 15 minutes, ideally less than three. And, as a US citizen, my government is trying to take away already has, technically, there's ways of circumventing it right now that they're not enforcing, but your liberties have been infringed if you're a US citizen in terms of your access to leverage. They don't want you to have access to it. And but if you have access to leverage, like 100x leverage or even 200x leverage, you can create wealth, and it's quite amazing. But you can also lose money very, very rapidly. But it's a great way to learn a lot of amazing things. But uh, you are discriminated against in the United States as a U.S. citizen based on your financial status. And in the crypto world, it's like you have to have $10 million. It's not even qualified investor status. It's bigger than that. And I think that's just wrong. It's infringing on your right to pursue happiness. So let's take a look at this. I just made this one a little bit bigger here. And let's just take a look at what's going on. This is the bigger picture. Over here, this is the weekly. So over here, we were, testing 1,000, and this was last November, kind of November 21st, right? And here, the whole month of November, we kind of coming down. And then we were here starting in January, we started this climb up, and now we're kind of going sideways, right? And we're testing, was it 1,500, right? And, we were going up, right? And then all this was happening. Look over here. And what happened here? Well, another bank, I call them wealthy, I'm not going to use bad language, people, just, they were making bad decisions, right? But when we look at the bigger picture here, what do we see happening? We just kind of like, it's going up, it wanted to keep going, and then we're coming down and we're going sideways, right? Could it come down to here? What is down here? The middle Bollinger Band. I'm not going to go into charting analysis or any of that stuff, but this is the charts that I look at. And if we were to travel down here, we're at what, 1426. This is the weekly. In the middle here, this is the daily. What do we see here? Well, a few days ago, we just started breaking through, climbing down, you know, crossed over, pushed down, bottoming out. We bottomed out here at what, 1550, right? We tried to go down to 1500. That whole banking thing disrupted this from traveling up, right? Everyone wanted to test 1700, but we had another banking thing. So it stopped it. And big money started pulling their money out. And so it's traveling down. What I'm expecting to have happen this week is folks are going to look at it. It's like, oh, well, we're not collapsing. We're not collapsing down 1,000, right? All could, we could have some other thing. People are waiting to see what the fallout is, right? Because right now the markets it's kind of like an ebb and flow with the big institutional money flowing in and out, right? Early on, there's just a lot of little people around the world, money pouring in and out. So there's a lot of volatility. And when there's a lot of volatility, you can make a lot of money hard and fast, right? But right now we got big money moving in and out. It's like, just this, but what is this? So, this middle Bollinger Band is 1635. This isn't even $100 between here and here on this daily. I remember when Ethereum was trading $200-300 a day. You could really make some money. This is moving so slow, and yet this is considered like, this is tanking, it just hits the news, right? So, this is, it's a slow roll, right? But, well, what do you see when you see what's happening? I mean, this is what's gets people excited when you see this happening, right? This is your little bull run stuff, right? But what do you see happening mainly? This is the daily. It's kind of going sideways, right? It's not rocket science. What do you see in the weekly happening? This is like since the beginning of time for Ethereum, right? We can actually just, look at what's been going on, what's exciting, what's not exciting. There's a life of Ethereum. Hasn't quite come down all the way down to here, right? Come down to 1,000, leveled out. We're going sideways. Where's it going to be going from here? Where do you think? When they get the regulations down and they've shaken out all the bad players and all the greedy people are out of this world, where is this going to go? Is it going to retest this? Is it going to go back up here? Is it going to go back up to here maybe? Is it going to retest this maybe? Probably at least retest this, right? And then, you hear about the cycles and stuff. And anyway, DTC, the organization that I kind of sort of founded, it's not really official or anything like that, but we invested in analytics, lifetime memberships type of thing. I think we spent like $14,000-15,000 for lifetime memberships to have experts give us the cycles and do all the advanced numbers and the quant stuff. And so, there's a 4-year cycle and 80-day cycle and all sorts of other cool stuff. And then there's also other projects and research and DeFi, and there's so much opportunity here. It's kind of crazy. But right now, what's going on? What's going to be happening this week? That's kind of what we're looking at. So I'm not doing active trading right now, simply because the market's so slow. And I just I'm working out a bot system, which is I'm having a lot of fun with that right now because the bots just eating this up because bots love sideway movements. It's all this stuff. Bots just making it just scalping this like crazy. Loves it. Okay, so here's what is this? This one is the 12-hour, right? So looks like we're just kind of bottoming out. It's losing its momentum, right? Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Kind of had some momentum, spiked down, kind of going sideways. All right. If I'm about to start a trading session, this is exactly what I look at. Well, I just hit a button. I don't know what I did. I did something. What did I do? Oh, this is Matic. All right, let's go back to Ethereum. Oh, these over here, these are different things I keep an eye on and look at. So what is Matic at? Oh, wow, it's just really kind of dumped. Check this out. This was like $1.56 not that long ago. This is a darling that's been around for under development as a DeFi project. Anyway, it's taking a hit. Wow. Might have to buy some more of it. It's $1.13. Love that. All right, not a recommendation. I'm just talking out loud to myself here. Dear David, buy some more. All right. Talking to myself. Let's see here. Let's look at the next set of charts. Let's make this big. So here, yeah, I'm not. If you're wondering what these different things are that you're seeing here, it, I'm not. Uh, there's a dude out there. His name's Trading Rush, and he goes into all the different indicators, and he's just awesome. And I actually am a Patreon subscriber of his. I'm so impressed with him. And he goes into all the different indicators, and his trainings are just awesome. And he tests things out in the Forex market and stocks. And basically, what you're seeing here is default Bollinger Bands. This red line here that you're seeing here is a HD, what's called a point of control. It's a volume indicator type of thing. Down here, you're seeing a classic MACD. And down here, you're seeing an MFI, money flow index. And then, this is your basic volume. And for some reason, I have that turned off here. Probably because I don't really care what the volume is on these levels. But over here, this is a 6 hour. So 6 hour, a lot of folks look at because it kind of gives you a trend for what's kind of going on. And what are you seeing happening down here, right? It's just kind of like this slow roll where it's just kind of, kind of petered out and kind of going sideways, right? Is that what you're seeing? That's what I'm seeing. MACD folks, we're bottoming out in the MFI and we're kind of here. So it's Sunday, right? So market's opening up. So what do I think is going to happen? Unless there's something crazy going on out there, I'm expecting this to probably this week to maybe try to retest, at least coming up to here and retest that. What is that? 1600. And if it's a good week, I think it wants to go up here and test 1700. It wants to go back up here and test this, but we'll see. We'll see. It wants to. Will it? It's an unknown. It wants to. I think it wants to. Will it? It all depends. I think it needs hedge fund money to say, yeah, let's bring money back into the market, or it needs some kind of good news, or some market adoption or something. And if nothing happens, it'll probably wander up here and then come down, to here. It could do that for a while because that's kind of what's going on. We can't predict things like war or fraud or the government, making some kind of stupid announcement that threatens the market and shakes things up. We can't control that. And the market is very sensitive to all of that. And if you're a U.S. citizen, I'm just a reminder, you should write into everybody, congressmen, senators, and to say, hey, listen, I should have the right to invest in anything I want to. I mean, I get that, the reason why since the Russian thing, we probably shouldn't be investing in the ruble and things, but outside of things like that, in terms of dealing with enemies, in their businesses, we should not have restrictions on, it's my money. If I can go into a casino with it, I should be able to do leverage trading, as should you, right? Commodities, whatever. So this concept of a qualified investor is just a way of already wealthy people saying you can't participate in where the least risk as well as the higher risk and reward options are. And it's just like, well, what about my freedom and liberty? Oh, well, you just trampled on it. So really stop, please. And right now, SEC is investigating Binance, but you as a U.S. citizen we were kicked off from Binance in 2016, right after Trump's election. We were kicked out, right? So, the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world, U.S. citizens aren't allowed on. What's wrong with that? A lot. We're not allowed. Just like Iranian citizens aren't allowed either. North Korean citizens aren't allowed either. Chinese citizens are kicked on and off. I mean, it's just these regimes that control their citizens are usually, kind of makes you wonder, right? And that's a narrative you'll hear me talk about a lot because we've been infringed upon. All right, so this is a 3 hour. So when I'm setting up bots, I'll look at the daily and then I'll work my way down to the hourly to see what is the trading range, right? And so what is this? This is coming, well, I've already got rid of the daily, but 500 psychological. So maybe going down to below that, if I were to change the standard deviations on the Bollinger Bands to, I think the standard to 2, but the actual goes down to 3, it'll probably go down to about 1480. So that's a good bottom for me anyway. Anyway, it's just pretty cool, pretty easy. I like bots, especially when there's a lot of uncertainty because um, there's a saying that I like to say that your risk is time in trade. The problem with staying in a trade is the unexpected crazy stuff that happens, like your government outlawing something. All of a sudden, you're kicked you're kicked out of an exchange, but you're in the middle of a trade. Well, there's a risk you can't control, right? Um, but if I'm in and out fast, I've got some control. But I like bots because they just buy and sell within a trading range. But your access to leverage enables you and empowers you to control your risk as a factor of time in any way. It sounds complicated, and it sort of is, but it isn't. But most of us are struggling so much as U.S. citizens just to pay our bills. We don't even have time to learn how to trade properly, and therefore, we learn concepts that don't really work. And it's peasant minded concepts for. I mean, when I see how professional hedge fund managers, people that've got advanced degrees in quant analytics, are making their decisions, it's just like um, they're not taking into consideration things that are beyond their control. They're not quantifying that into their algorithms, and it's just bizarre. Already wealthy people taking unbelievable risks with other people's money and then tanking billions of dollars, and it's just like, why did they do that? I mean, I understand taking a high risk when you, like, are starting out and you're just building, but it's just bizarre to me. So let's take a look at this. This is the 3 hour. I know, David, why don't you start fun? Well, we looked into it. I have a team of folks, and one of them is a CPA. And we were in negotiations. We were talking about hiring a consulting firm and stuff, and they really dropped the ball. Really, we were literally about to drop 15 grand into the consulting fees and stuff to set up our own fund, right? Because we saw folks that actually did crypto funds, some young bucks, they didn't know what they were doing, and they were raising hundreds of millions of dollars, and they were losing money for their clients. It's like, wow, we know we know what we're doing. But here's the problem: when you start managing other people's money, everything's great as long as you're making them money, right? But the moment you're not making them money or something, they sue you for fraud or also. And I'm 59 years old. I'd say I don't need to do that for other people. I don't want the risk. And I know you form a corporation, you create all these layers of protection and stuff, and it's just like it's I understand the game. I understand trust, I understand structures, I understand all that sort of stuff. I've lived there for 20 years, and it's just like um it's it's a fancy way of screwing other people. It's a system, it's a predatory system, and there's no need for it. I can trade all day long. I talk about financial empowerment, which is like if my government were to take everything away from me and I just had to flee the country because whatever reason I had to flee the country, as long I would choose a country where I had the freedom to trade with leverage. I would be a financial powerhouse in less than a year. That's called financial empowerment. Sovereignty is my ability to leave, and they take everything. They steal my phone, or I destroy my phone, and I just leave with a shirt on my back. And I get to another country, and mop floors, repair computers, or whatever it is that I'm able to do. And as soon as I have new technology, I can unlock a wallet or whatever with my security practices and have access to my resources because I have sovereignty because of technology, and I teach people how to do that. It's kind of cool. Russian oligarchs would have wished they would have consulted with me before they were stupid. But you know what? I don't have any sympathy for them because what did they do with their wealth and their power? They made the world a really shitty place. So I have no sympathy for them. They had no dream or vision with their money that they made. So, if you're going to be a billionaire, you can invest in war and stuff. Is that your dream? Really? Ugh. Anyway, I'm opinionated. So, 1 hour is interesting. Look at what's going on here in the hourly. Kind of a lot of interesting stuff. Oh, my bot's loving this. Look at this. So 1547, 1588. So that's a $40 trading range. This up down stuff like this on an hourly basis. A automated bot just is tearing this up. It's just like buying on the way down, selling on the way up. It just buy. It just. I haven't checked my bot today, but it was doing really really well last time I checked. I mean, it's upside down because it started at high. 'Cause I wasn't expecting another banking FTX kind of weird thing. It wasn't as bad as FTX, but it's okay. That's why I started the bot because I thought, well, it's at a high. It could trend down. I was testing an idea, and it's doing what a bot's supposed to do. So I think it's going to average out about 2% a day. But when it's all said and done, I think it's going to average out 2% a day. Is what I think it's going to be, which is amazing. Anyway, my goal is probably 3%, but because of the fraud of that other company, it's not, I'm not going to get my 3% a day, which is my goal. Let's just take a quick look at the 3-minute chart. So I like to look at like what's happening here. So we're here at 1555 in the middle Bollinger Band. So it's a $2. It's a $2 between the lower Bollinger Band and the middle Bollinger Band, roughly, in a 3-minute cycle. But this is not just 3 minutes. This is like what, an hour? That's so slow of movements. I mean, literally between here, what is this? This dip down to 53, and then it spiked back up to here 3 minutes later. So $3 movement. So I guess if I'm trading at 200x, I could eke out something there, which is kind of interesting. But it's not interesting. It's why I'm not active trading right now, because I mean I think I can. There's probably some other asset classes I could be trading at high leverage where I could get in and out fast and hit my goals. Usually I'm looking for 33% return. Otherwise I won't even trade. And for when there's a bull run happening, I mean, literally I was pulling between, I couldn't stop 50% ROI per trade. And I was nailing down 5, 6, 700% ROI trades. It was crazy during a bull run, which is why it's like, wait for it. It's worth it. It's there's a little thing called patience is profit. In fact, I'll wrap up with that a little bit. I don't have much more to say because I'm not here to teach you how to trade in this. I'm just going to do a market assessment. Um, the I'm working on a training series and stuff. The issue that I have right now is to do the training and create the quality training and stuff is a lot of work. And like I taught my son to trade. He came and spent like 3 days with me. We had an immersion training type of thing, and he learned to trade. He was his first trade. He nailed down like 15% ROI, and he went home and nailed down mission 1, and then he went on mission 2, mission 3, mission 4, and then he got greedy. And this was all during a bear market too, and it was just kind of crazy. And then, but there's a mind game. There's multiple facets of things that there's a training process, and I think I've got the process down. And the problem is what I'd have to charge you to train you. And by the time I have the materials ready to train you, the market would have changed. And what it's dysfunctional. And I work full time in IT and all sorts of other stuff. So I don't have the time to create the proper training materials and adapt them. So it's what I really need to do is I need to free up my time so I can like do these commentaries. We'll create the baseline core training and then teach people and evolve the training. We'll teach it real time, kind of like do immersion trainings on a cycle, like once a month immersion trainings. And then just create an organization where you're learning together. People, so like someone that's got a lot of money has a different need, a different type of concept that needs to learn, right? So if I can teach someone how to trade and complete a mission 1, right? What they'll learn with the HD1 and the HD2 are two different sets of concepts that work together, which would be just amazing if you're managing a hedge fund, right? Because would never manage a hedge fund with HD 2.0 principles, but what you learn there would help you manage that. Anyway, I've got some really cool stuff, but I just don't have the time to develop the training materials. I really would need to surround myself with a team of folks to help me hammer them out. So for now, what I want to do is build out folks on YouTube to follow, Patreon subscribership, create the cash flows necessary. Where right now I will teach different basic core training concepts, infrastructure concepts, security concepts, um, the missions, right? Getting started, and if there's enough interest, and I think the only thing I set up on Patreon is like $5 a month. So if I get enough folks that say, yeah, I want to participate in this, and yeah, David, I want to free up your time, then I will devote my time for the organization. I will invest my time because you guys will have freed up my time that I will create the course and create the materials. In the meantime, I'll do this commentaries and stuff like that. And, a lot of it is the biggest thing standing between anybody and wealth is what I call it's the mind game. It's how they it's how they look at things. I mean, it shows up in your calculator. So, like, when there was a within I'll wrap up with this. Well, so when there's, like, a $2 billion lottery, right? I like to run numbers and calculations, right? I'm kind of an analyst person, right? The only calculator that I own that has a comma in it is my HP BA2s, and I had to dig it out. I've got it with me now. But I like this little desktop because it's got the little angle. See that nice little angle, right? So, I'm at work or whatever, or I'm at home and I got these inexpensive little calculators. I can run little scenarios, right? And I'm forced to use a spreadsheet to run billion-dollar numbers, which is fine, right? Which is fine. But literally, we don't even have the tools to think like that. And when I was running the numbers on $1 billion, it really made me realize that all of us were born and raised, and even our billionaires. When I look at how our billionaires make their business decisions, people who are managing trillions of dollars, right? Our elected leaders, they think like peasants. They think like people, they're coming from a position of fear and scarcity. They don't bring dream or vision to anything that they're doing. And as a result of that, they make bad decisions and they waste money and they waste opportunity and they hurt people. And it's when I started running the numbers on just the $2.2 billion lottery, which would have been about a net $1 billion, just even in our religious belief systems, you've heard about, oh, well, yeah, you tithe, you give 10% to God, right? You hear that's a common concept, right? Unless you're from a different belief system, I think it's what 2% or 3%, whatever. I don't know why they get a better deal. But whatever. But it's an accepted concept, right? But it's a very limited bad concept. There's a better way of giving. I ran the numbers on it. It's a very, very, very bad concept for giving. In fact, if you win a $2 billion lottery, you shouldn't give 10% away to charity. You should do better than that. And I'm writing a book on it because I ran the numbers. And I'm going to explain why you shouldn't be giving away 10% or whatever. You should be doing better than that. And it's not about a command because I'm off topic, aren't I? But um, I have a chapter about needy gods. So like deity, right? The creator of all that is. Okay, I don't want to pick on anybody. So okay, not picking on whatever your belief system is. Already owns it all. Doesn't need your money. I know it was a mind-blowing concept when I thought about it. It's like, well, why would anything that already created all that is need anything from me? Doesn't. Never did. So anyway, as I got a whole chapter about that I'm writing about, and it's not about saying you shouldn't be giving or anything like that. It's just it's about stewardship is more important, right? You and I are here for a very brief period of time, and what we're doing is we're destroying things. We're not being good stewards. We're being owners, and as owners, we think we have rights to destroy shit, and that's not what stewardship is. We have some really big ethical problems that don't work. And it's because we've been born and raised to think like peasants. I was. I don't know about you. I'm pretty certain you were too. Um, and that's one of the biggest issues we have. It's why we go to war. It's why we fight over resources. It's why we build walls. It's why we don't take care of each other. It's why we rob each other. It's why we live in fear and create scarcity and poverty. Those things are manufactured in the modern era, right? There's no excuse for it other than we allow it to happen. But why do we allow it to happen? Anyway, I'm writing about it, and I will be publishing that. But that takes a lot of time and a lot of heart, and uh, I can only write and do so much per day. I only have so much energy to do that. So one of the reasons why I'm doing this health and wealth channel is to see if there's enough like-minded folks that might throw $5 a month, make that commitment towards me to help free up my time so I can make a commitment to all of you to get that stuff published. And 3 is my big number. So I've got a goal of 3,333 people chipping in $5 a month would free up my time. And then, grow that to 33,333, and then maybe create a movement of 333,333 people worldwide. And then from there, that would be like, we'll form a not so secret society that is built around leadership and teaching stewardship. We'll start there. Everyone can keep their religion and whatever their belief is, but let's bring back the concept of the golden rule or whatever version of stewardship that is. Every belief system has it. And I think we just need to go back to that basic. And the fact that we all have that is a clue that the concept of a divine creator did give that to all of us. So it's something that we don't have to fight for. That could be a unifying force. I don't think we're supposed to fight over things. I think we're supposed to find what is it that it unifies us is what we're supposed to be doing. And I think we're off base. We're off track. I think we've been sold a bill of goods going back eons and going back to the last epoch, actually. And I know that's a language that's not necessarily familiar with a lot of folks, but we'll go there. We'll get there. So that's all I really had for tonight. And I have a tendency to like get into the philosophical stuff. So if you don't like that, then I'm probably not for you. But if you like the idea of what you just heard, then stay tuned because the charting, the trading, that stuff is so easy. It for me, it's. I mean, just run the numbers. I was loaned $5, and I'm in Mission 11, which I've carried on to bots. I'm working on Mission 11 with bots, although I robbed like $1,500 to do investments with some cryptos that I think have got some potential, some buy and hold stuff long term. But anyway, I also figured out how to do it all tax free legally in the United States for U.S. citizens. But it's kind of a pain in the butt to set up, and there's annual costs and things. But trading and making money out of thin air, I proved it last year. I proved it. I completed mission 1 in like 6 days, and then they won their money back. So they took their $5 and half my trading profits, but that's okay. And then I went on to complete 10 and a half missions after that, starting from 0. So, HD, by the way, stands for Homeless David. And there's a whole story behind it that I'm very, very proud of because my heart reached out to a homeless couple that I met during COVID that inspired me. Like, I wonder if I could create a trading system that would work for someone if they had access to basic technology, if they were homeless. And I tested some ideas. I'm very, very proud of those ideas. Although homeless folks have got a lot of issues to deal with. And I don't like even referring to them as homeless. They're fellow citizens. And, I see I live in the state of Oregon. I see how our leaders are dealing with it, and it's just like I'm just very, very frustrated. I'm a very frustrated human being, that doesn't have the resources to make a difference with how I see we could maybe making a difference. So I need to start by sharing the ideas that I think could make a difference. So anyway, all right, everybody, have a great evening, and I hope this was of value. I'm gonna just share a couple little video things that are just some ideas and concepts.